All the people that helped Camilla get the crown on her head were excluded from that coronation, and they were furious. No one can overturn Queen Camilla's sentence. Farewell, everlasting. Nothing like this has ever happened within the royal gates, despite the fact that they have seen innumerable scandals, power battles, and surprising turns. There is no reversing Queen Camilla's fate now. The globe is still reeling from the shocking news that the monarchy has just received its last sentence. Why has the Queen's life come to a tragic conclusion, and what caused her precipitous decline? Keep checking back for further updates as we learn the real reason behind Camilla's unexpected departure and the implications this has for the future of the royal family. Queen Camilla's daring decision about her royal title might soon make it obsolete. In a shocking turn of events, many in the royal community are asking why now in response to the decision's shocking unexpectedness. After all that time with the title, why did Camilla decide to give it up? The notion of such a move has sparked significant debate about the future of the monarchy. Even though Buckingham Palace has not officially confirmed or denied the reports, streamlining the royal family so that it more accurately represents modern society is an idea that King Charles has long championed. His ideal monarchy would be one that is flexible enough to change with the times rather than stuck in the past, weighed down by unnecessary rituals and traditions. The decision made by Camilla, if confirmed, may be interpreted as a manifestation of this vision, symbolizing a conscious rejection of tradition in preference for a more modern, reimagined position. There have been many difficulties throughout her reign as queen. She has been the object of comparisons ever since her 2005 marriage to Prince Charles, most notably to the late Queen Elizabeth II, whose extraordinary 70-year reign established an almost unattainable bar. The public's acceptance of Camilla was gradual and frequently hesitant, and she was the object of intense scrutiny at all times. It was a big deal when Queen Elizabeth approved of Camilla being named Queen Consort following Charles's coronation. It begs the question, was this ever a role she wanted? Now that Camilla is supposedly stepping down from the title, the pressures of bearing the crown go beyond mere symbolism. It brings with it unfaltering expectations, non-stop coverage in the media, and an inflexible sense of duty. Maybe Camilla has come to terms with the fact that being queen does not justify the emotional and mental toll it takes on her. She has faithfully carried out her duties alongside Charles, but maybe now people are starting to see that the future of the monarchy is not going to be determined by strict titles but by the influence and effect of the people who serve inside it. The decision to abdicate might be based on personal growth as well as institutional change if it enables her to take on a position that is more true to herself and in line with the changing royal family. The general public's opinion on these stories is mixed. Critics have praised Camilla's decision, saying it shows how self-aware she is and how she is prepared to put her own values ahead of convention and play the part that feels appropriate. Some see it as a signal of royal indecision, which might cause instability in the royal family. Is the monarchy actually evolving at this time, or does it suggest there are deeper problems going on behind royal walls? As we can see from our history, the British monarchy has a long tradition of innovation. In the 1950s, a new era began with the coronation of Queen Elizabeth II, which brought the monarchy's splendor into people's living rooms nationwide. Decades later, if Camilla's purported choice materializes, it will represent yet another shift, one that questions the permanence of royal titles. Adaptation has allowed the monarchy to endure for centuries. Maybe this is just another way it will do the same. There are still many concerns that have not been resolved. The most interesting one is if Camilla took this decision on her own or whether it is part of a bigger strategy change within the royal family. One thing is crystal evident to all eyes on the royal family, as Camilla's status in the future of the monarchy is up for grabs at this moment. How will Charles's reign be affected, and what does this signify for the future of the royal family structure if Camilla does decide to stand down as queen? Let's get into the complete narrative. The rifts between the three royal sisters, Camilla, Catherine, and Anne, represent a larger change, which has finally compelled Camilla to renounce a title that does not reflect the changing goals of the monarchy. The carefully preserved illusion of royal unity has been shattered as what appeared to be a private affair has escalated into a full-blown public spectacle. The world has never seen an inside royal family quarrel like this before, and it has ignited needed arguments and conjecture about what will happen next. King Charles is experiencing a remarkable test of leadership as he navigates competing loyalties. This test has the potential to alter the course of the monarchy's destiny. Should he let this schism grow wider and cause even more division, or should he step in to fix things before they become worse? Day by day, The king faces increasing pressure to make a decision that might alter the trajectory of history. As the stakes continue to rise, an unfinished power struggle that jeopardizes the very stability of the monarchy is the root cause of Camilla's abrupt dethroning as queen, which is more than simply a personal consequence. The royal family's operation has changed as a result of this dispute, which has spread outside the palace gates and into the public view. Confidential information is suddenly available to the public, and its disclosure may have far-reaching effects. Why did things take such a dramatic turn? Did someone in the royal household plot this whole thing, or did years of simmering anger finally boil over? What does this signify for Camilla's future role in the royal family? That is the major question. No monarchy will ever be the same after this. Princess Camilla's unexpected dethroning as queen, a royal shock. Because of her unwavering devotion to duty, discipline, and royal tradition, Princess Anne has a long history of being hailed as the most dependable member of the royal family. She has avoided getting caught up in palace politics, instead focusing on serving her subjects. But now, out of nowhere, Anne is in the middle of a royal firestorm, a development that has stunned the monarchy and put King Charles in utter disarray. Queen Camilla was to receive an honorary degree in literature for her services to literacy promotion as Chancellor of the University of London when she unexpectedly encountered Princess Anne. The confrontation took place at the same location. Presenting the honor was Anne's responsibility. At first glance, the ceremony followed the typical royal protocol, all smiles, nods, and meticulously maintained decorum. However, a far larger drama was taking place behind the scenes, and it would alter the course of history. From the minute they arrived, observers saw an odd tension between Anne and Camilla, and paused for a moment before moving aside to let Camilla enter the ceremony first, as she had been motioning for her to do so. It looked like a little exchange at first, but those in the know within the royal family noticed it for what it really was, a subtle but significant gesture that hinted at greater strife between the two ladies. After taking up his father's positions, Camilla became the Duchess of Edinburgh. Despite its prestige, this title did not last long. Charles succeeded to the throne after Queen Elizabeth II's death on September 8, 2022, and Camilla's status changed again. Much discussion had preceded Charles's coronation over Camilla's title, a departure from royal tradition. The announcement came from Clarence House that she would be recognized as princess consort. This was an attempt to address the reality that her public acceptance had been anything but smooth. However, as Camilla grew increasingly embedded in the royal family, the title of princess consort dwindled. In a statement issued on the day of Charles's succession, Queen Elizabeth made her desires known. She wished Camilla to be recognized as queen consort, which solidified her position in the royal hierarchy. With the grand coronation on May 6, 2023, Camilla finally became Her Majesty the Queen. It was the moment that culminated years of hard work, scrutiny, and a significant shift in public opinion about her. It was an honor for Camilla to be recognized with a title that had previously been unattainable and a recognition of her position beside King Charles. Everything has changed today, though, due to the sudden revocation of her queendom. What, therefore, does Camilla stand to lose by relinquishing the title? To start with, she is no longer regarded in the greatest esteem by the monarchs. Being styled as queen meant more than just getting a title. It was a mark of respect, authority, and legitimacy. Finally, after years of public scorn and comparisons to Princess Diana, Camilla had attained a title that elevated her to the highest echelons of royal society. When you lose it, you give up your hard-earned status. She not only loses the title but also the power and clout that accompanied it. As queen consort, she co-starred with King Charles at official events, was an indispensable ally on foreign trips, and had an indisputable say in how the modern monarchy evolved. She had gone from being an afterthought to an acknowledged and esteemed woman in her own right. If the monarch steps down from the title, she may have less say in governmental matters and less influence over the royal family's destiny. The intangible loss of having one's title validated is another consideration. After years of struggle, Camilla finally achieved the popular esteem she had sought with the crowning. A dramatic change in prestige occurs when a monarch goes from being known as queen to being known as duchess or any other lower-ranked title. Not only does she have less prestige, but her standing in the royal family and the general public has also diminished. The fact that Camilla has managed to go from being a public figure to queen consort and now to a more autonomous role demonstrates how strong and flexible she is. The question it begs is if this heralds a new era of royals who are more progressive and energetic. What does Camilla's next step indicate about the future of the institution she has battled so hard to join? Assuming that is indeed the case, the British monarchy is reeling from her decision to renounce the title of Queen Consort, which suggests a change in her personal position and may even hint at a shift in the institution itself. It may be a strategic decision that enables her to take on a role that better fits her ideals and the evolving demands of the royal family, even if many see it as a step down. Despite the seemingly insurmountable position that now befell her, Camilla maintained her poise and dignity during her time as Queen Consort. However, the position's enormous expectations were firmly rooted in tradition and obligation. For a long time, people have wondered whether her position freed her to fight for the things she believes in or if it limited her to the strictures of royal duties. If she is stepping back, it is likely because she wants to give her full attention to the things that truly matter to her rather than because she has no choice. Domestic violence awareness, literacy development, and women's rights are just a few of the social causes that Camilla has long championed. She has fought tirelessly for these causes, so they aren't just hobbies. Now that she is no longer encumbered by the diplomatic responsibilities and formalities of being Queen Consort, she may devote more energy and concentration to these causes. Being unencumbered by a formal title allows her to be more approachable, candid, and creative in her behind-the-scenes efforts, all of which might have a greater impact. In my opinion, this change is indicative of a larger trend within the royal family that has been developing for some time. Younger members of the family, such as Prince William and Princess Kate, have been redefining their responsibilities with a more contemporary and active style. This small change is reflected in Camilla's decision. The monarchy is evolving from an institution whose primary function is symbolic to one that reflects and responds to modern societal ideals and expectations. By renouncing the title of Queen Consort, she may be sending a strong message that titles don't matter as much as the ability to make a difference. Perceptions in the public eye will likewise be altered by this action. Although the British monarchy has always been admired for its steadfast adherence to tradition, it is widely known that the general public's perception of the royal family is shifting. Nowadays, sincerity and purpose are more appealing to audiences than ostentation and spectacle. Camilla's choice may lend credence to the theory that the monarchy is changing, shifting its focus from status to service. This change could bring the institution closer to the people it represents, making it more approachable and relevant in a dynamic world. Camilla will not be relegated to the background just because she is stepping down from the title. If anything, her newfound position may give her more clout in a different but no less important way. She may shift her attention to philanthropy and assume a more advisory position within the royal family, lending her support to King Charles's initiatives. Instead of limiting herself to merely executing her royal duties, she may embrace her true passions and use her voice in a way that feels less confined by formality. This decision highlights a basic reality about royalty. Titles are symbolic, but they do not determine one's influence. Camilla's transition from a public figure to Queen Consort and now to a more independent role demonstrates that influence in the royal family is determined by purpose as much as by rank. A significant question is raised by her transition. Could this be the beginning of a royal dynasty that is more dynamic and forward-thinking? If so, what does her future behavior indicate about the fate of the institution she has worked so hard to join? There are now doubts over the survival of the British monarchy in the wake of Camilla's shocking decision to resign as Queen Consort. Could this be the start of a larger transformation? What impact will this have on the monarchy's standing with the people in the Commonwealth? Will more senior royals follow her example? Although there are currently no confirmed explanations, it is safe to say that this decision is indicative of a larger trend within the royal family, which is placing greater emphasis on individual goals rather than strict adherence to tradition. For millennia, the monarchy has been defined by titles that dictated the duties and obligations of its members. However, Camilla's choice casts doubt on that idea and signals a transition to a more contemporary, mission-driven institution. These days, being a royal is more about making an impact and serving others than attending formal events and maintaining rigid hierarchies. This shift could lead future generations of royals to prioritize authenticity over ceremonial grandeur. As King Charles steers the monarchy through this change, the loss of Camilla's leadership will undoubtedly increase the pressure on prominent figures such as the Prince and Princess of Wales, who will be more thrust into the limelight as they prepare to ascend to the throne. During her time in office, Camilla demonstrated that the royal platform could be used for meaningful change by advocating for literacy, domestic violence awareness, and animal welfare. Now that she is stepping aside, her legacy might inspire future royals to focus on impact rather than titles. However, doubts remain. Will tradition ultimately prevail, or is the monarchy ready to fully embrace this transformation? Leave a comment with your thoughts and hit the like and subscribe button.